Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and we're back with the latest of Small Town Monsters productions, and it is Dogman Territory, Werewolves in the Land Between the Lakes. And this is the latest documentary about cryptids from director Seth Breedlove with Aaron Deese and Shannon LeGro on the hunt in this middle ground between these two lakes that has a lot of supernatural elements and a lot of sightings of dogmen, werewolves, other cryptids, and they're going to go on a deep dive and with a bunch of different investigators and podcasters and a couple of middle-aged dudes, maybe older end of middle-aged dudes, who have a horrifying story to tell. And this documentary has a lot of the elements you expect from a Seth Breedlove kind of film. Obviously, these are low-budgeted documentaries focusing on cryptids. I don't think these are going to be winning like Oscars and stuff like that, but they certainly will earn a lot of fans. And this film really starts off in a fun way with like this old school kind of video, like trying to sell like this fun, family-friendly kind of land between the lakes place, and then there's like little fleeting elements of like, did they just show like a quick clip of like wolf people and stuff like that, and then it takes a cheeky kind of shift into, and just you watch out for those dog men out there, and it's just like, oh, you got me. It was a fun, campy kind of way to like draw you in with attention into the film. I think one of the things that I struggled most with this film is Deese and LeGro spend a lot of time and prolonged periods of times, multiple times throughout the film, just standing and talking at each other and just churning conspiracy theories. And sure, the theories are crazy and interesting and they're just throwing anything at the wall, but like after a while it's just kind of like, is this necessary in this film in terms of like, it's not the most impactful thing. It's just low-grade camera looking at two people just staring at each other, just talking at each other for prolonged periods of time. It's not the most engaging. There's like even the edits aren't exactly something that's like cutting up the action and making it feel like it's as engaging. There's a lot of commentators that they talk to in this, different investigators to varying degrees of experience looking into dogmen, werewolves, and I feel like some of them are more impactful than others. Some of them are just kind of entertaining to listen to, or like you look at them and you're just, this is a podcaster who talks about cryptids, and you kind of get that kind of dynamic. But where this film really gets its impact, and I think this is where Seth Breedlove really finds the impact in his films, is when he finds people who have experienced these kinds of things, have stories to tell, and he has a knack for finding storytellers. And there's this man who, like, older gentleman, walking cane, big gray beard, who goes into this horrifying story. And then he has this other person who's had these experiences. Big guy, really deep, Kermity kind of voice. And they really tell some horrifying accounts of the experiences that they've had that are engrossing. And you're just like sitting there on the edge of your seat being like, holy crap, what the hell, like, this is crazy. And it's engrossing. They really know how to tell a story. This one man in particular really sells it. And there's also some, like, big emotional baggage to it as well, because what these experiences have done to them, how it's changed their lives, certain things that they're not comfortable doing anymore. And these stories are wild. And obviously, like, what the one guy who's telling a lot of this story also has been investigating cryptids for years after. And, like, he starts throwing out conspiracy theories. And I feel like at that point his story starts to lose a little steam. but it's the emotional elements. There's a couple of moments towards the end of the film that legitimately do hit. I think it's a little uneven when it cuts to Deese and LeGro just doing one of their talks at each other right afterwards, and it's just like, there's all this emotion that I feel like, I get you're trying to do this in summation kind of thing, but like, you had a great place where you could have had like this big emotional kind of ending. But in general, there's a lot that they go into about dogmen and werewolves and like the differences between them, the accounts that people have had, the theories that people have about them, whether it's they're some kind of natural being, whether they're aliens or from other dimensions and stuff like that. It's a very interesting documentary in terms of that conversation, and by the end, you'll learn a lot, and you'll have a lot of shots cut to, people in giant dogman and werewolf costumes looking really creepy in the woods. Because, it's a small town monsters film, so you gotta have that too. But those are my thoughts on Dogman Territory, Werewolves in the Land Between the Lakes. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.